Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Manga Cave. Today we are gonna be talking about One Piece live action episode 4 while drawing Brogy the Red Ogre, okay? So this episode is called Big Trouble in Little Garden. Little Garden is the island that we're gonna be visiting. Big Trouble, it makes sense because as you see how we are going into the episode, you will see that there are a lot of big people in this place, okay? So we finish the previous episode with an analysis of all of them so far. You can see here the latest one, that is episode number 3. We finish with the presentation, like, not presentation as such because we have seen her already, but the kind of incursion of Miss All Sunday in our ship, in the Going Merry. So, why is that? This is something that happens as well in the story, in the manga. This is something that we see after we are leaving Whiskey Peak as well, and then Miss Sunday is exactly like in the live action, sitting on the top of the Merry. She steals Luffy's hat, and obviously that's tense because no one can touch Luffy's hat apart from his nakamas. And Sanji and Usopp straight away, they try to attack. This is one of the only times that you see in the manga Sanji being a little bit more aggressive towards a woman, okay? Sanji in the manga that is changed in the anime, it is pointing at her head with a gun that you don't see the One Piece guys in the Straw Hats either using weapons as such like that, you know, like guns. Very interesting. Usopp is as well with his weapon, you know, pointing at her. Here in the scene they make it in a different way, kind of they try to rush up where she is, but she magically throws them away. We have seen already the Hana Hana fruit, that is the one that she has, that she can make arms, or in reality any part of her body bloom from everywhere and anywhere, and basically he throws them away back to the deck of the ship. He manages to disarm as well, you know, Zorro, everyone there. So basically they are talking about Bibi. So she says, oh, you know, Miss Wednesday, or as known as Bibi as well. So kind of we have discovered your infiltration basically here, and I am here to give you a escape route, basically. I know you wanna go back to Alabasta to save your kingdom, to alert your father, the king, but it's gonna be a very difficult road from here on, okay? You are gonna stop in a place called Little Garden, and there is no one able to escape from that island. So there is a danger in this island that we don't know yet, okay? So what happens here is very interesting. So somehow, she's bad, okay? We know that she's bad so far, for the ones who are not following the manga. She's trying to help somehow, we don't know why. She's the number 2 of Mr. Zero, so she's the boss, basically the boss girl in this organization, in this criminal organization that is Baroque Works. But she somehow looks that she wants to help, okay? She looks still aggressive, you know, cocky, a little bit, you know, like intrusive, because she just showed up in the ship uninvited, unexpected. And what happens next is very interesting. She mentions something called an eternal pose. The eternal pose that he throws at Bibi and Bibi grabs is a type of lock pose that, instead of the one I explained to you in the Crocus episode, in the Laboon episode, with Drawing Brook, that one is registering as you go the places that you stay, okay? This magnetic field is kind of registering in the log post, so that log post is able to see the next island. The eternal log post, no, that is 100% all the time, 24/7, pointing towards the same direction, pointing towards the same island. And this one, that this bad guy is offering them, it's an island beyond Little Garden, okay? A point where from there they can easily go towards Alabasta Kingdom, because Alabasta is not only one specific place. This is like a massive kingdom that at some point, obviously, we need to be traveling around. Obviously, like the rest of the episode that I've been doing about the live action here, this video is gonna be packed full with spoilers of manga, anime, live action, notes from movies that I can recollect here, notes from SBSs, notes as well from color spreads and things like this. So the idea here is to talk a little bit about the differences that we may find in the story, the live action and the manga and the anime, all of them, and to talk a little bit about why do I think something is doing in, you know, they have done it in one way or in another, okay? Something very interesting as well is, I want to change the nose because I may go for the live action type of nose. Another thing we do here in this analysis is basically talking about the VFX, the CGI, how this is being done in the movie context, in this TV show XS scenario context, like how some special effects have been done from the perspective of someone who studied this, okay? So, what happens here is something very radical. Luffy grabs the pose and breaks it, like with one swift move, and he says he's very upset here, he's very determined. He says, you are not the one who dictates where the ship is going, okay? So this is his decision, this is Nami's decision as well, the crew's decision, in this case, is to help Bibi in their own terms. So, very nice. Very Luffy, I have to say, very loyal to the original story with what happens in the manga and in the anime, and I like it. Then we jump into the Viking logo, but before of that, when she leaves, it's nice in the manga that he jumps from the boat, okay, into the water, and he has a fruit, she has a fruit. Obviously she cannot swim, she needs to have something there that we don't see in this live action, and I think it's a miss. I think they could have done it. It's someone called Bachi, is a turtle that is transporting her, so she is sitting on top of a turtle with her nice chair and everything. I think she even had an umbrella, and slowly she leaves as well. She is the one who makes Igaram boom in the previous instance in the manga as well, together with Mr. Five, Miss Valentine and everything. So those guys are already defeated by the time that Nico Robin, that is gonna be, as I said, our Miss All Sunday, when the big reveal comes later, is gonna do so. So she's a bad girl here. She's doing many bad things, working for this organization. So she says in a very nice voice, like aggressive voice, Monkey D. Luffy, that this has been all over the media as advertising for the season, as some of her moves fighting against the Marines in Lockdown as well. All of that was kind of her introduction. As I always said since day one, too many visuals for the season have been released before time as teasers, and I wanna be surprised. I would have preferred to see all of these tiny things and details after the season is already released, because now I'm seeing a lot of things that I already seen, and basically it doesn't impact me as much as if they would have waited. Okay, I understand there is a demand. I understand that there may be a lot of people who actually wants to see things and theorize about things, but for me personally, I would have preferred to wait. Anyway, I say the name of Nico Robin here at the beginning of the analysis and everything, and connecting Miss all Sunday, because we know she's going to be very important to us later. We're going to have a lot of story with her later. I have a theory about Nico Robin connecting to the manga. So if you don't want to know about this, just click in another video and or skip maybe like a couple of minutes. I think Nico Robin is Luffy's sister, older sister. This is going to be explained forward. I have a video about that here, that if you want to learn more about it, you can learn. But I think Luffy's father is as well Nico Robin's father. They have different mothers, and a lot of story happened there. I think Robin, at this point in the manga, knows. I don't think Luffy does. I don't think he cares. He is gonna be helping anyone, anytime, regardless of if they are family or not. But in my opinion, I would say that's a reality that is gonna happen at some point. Okay, so we are actually, let's draw a little bit this guy, because I'm focusing in talking, and I'm not drawing much. So he has the helmet, this kind of Viking type of helmet, very down, like almost to the eyes, basically, in both designs, in manga design. I'm doing some sort of a mix here, okay? I'm mixing a little bit the design for the actor here in the live action, and the design for the manga a little bit, okay? So we have his face a little bit more down, like this, yeah. So as always, we do a little bit loose. We want to do these horns here. By the way, the Vikings horns concept in the helmets, it's something made by film industry. Originally they didn't have any kind of decorations like this. They have obviously decorations in on the helmets and different shapes, yes, but horns like this as such, no. This is something let's say Hollywood made. So for now we're doing here Brogy. Okay. So as I said, we go into the Viking logo. We understand that this is going to be some sort of Viking thing going on. We have a crew chat, a meeting with Bibi. Bibi is worried about everything. The crew is not worried at all. She still doesn't know them, she still doesn't understand them. She has seen that yes, they are strong and they have defeated a lot of people in Whiskey Peak, yes, but she doesn't know yet the extent of their abilities, okay? Not even themselves know about this. So we arrive into Little Garden, this Little Garden image when the island is coming and everything. You see the jungle, you see the arrival with the river and everything. All of this is full CGI. Obviously they didn't go to an island to record these things, the approaching of the ship. And we have this very visual, very cartoony as well. It looks a little bit fake, basically, because I think they want to match the style, the cartoony style that I always say they have, like when you go to a theme park, that everything looks fake but looks cool and believable. We had this kind of style since day one in episode 1 for season 1, and they are keeping it very nice. I like it. It makes it very interesting in terms of outfits, in terms of decoration, in terms of things going on around in the background while we are moving from one scenario to another. I like it. It's very One Piece, I would say. There is this question of why this place is called Little Garden, that is going to be answered later, and they don't know, Usopp is joking about it, And then Sanji comes as well with some pirate lunches. He's ready. He knew Luffy wanted to explore, so he's ready already for this scenario. And he gives the food away, and then we have like a ginormous roar. That's tension, just before starting, some fear for some of the crew members. There's gonna be exploration here in the island. We're gonna just go into the island and we are gonna have a hunting competition. There is a little bit of clash there between Zorro and Sanji. This is something that it happens every single time with these guys. They want to have some food. They want to hunt. They need to hunt some food. Sanji says, "Oh, this is a perfect opportunity for me to hunt some food." And then we see how they jump into this argument. They want to hunt the bigger piece. They are to see who is the best hunter, both of them. So what's gonna happen here is pretty similar to what happens in the manga. They are gonna go their own way. They are gonna split. Obviously, all of them are gonna split. So Sanji and Zoro, they are gonna go their own way to hunt something in competition. Nami goes, you know, with Bibi, with Usopp, with Luffy, all of them into the little garden. She says that, oh my god, look, all these weird plants and everything, I've seen them in some books, but they are supposed to be extinct. So that's interesting. So we are getting into the interesting stuff into the story. Nami and Bibi are trying to bond a little bit here, and kind of Nami's explaining things about Luffy, how Luffy is, this and that, because again, we need to invite Bibi more into the whole conversation, okay? Bibi is a character that has been introduced now in season 2, and we need to make her part of the team, as you can see, okay? Usopp suddenly disappears. Probably they are talking and Nami says, oh, you know, probably he just went back because he was scared. Luffy is going away, so Nami goes to find Usopp, while Bibi goes to find Luffy, following Luffy. So we split once again. So we are splitting from a bigger team to smaller teams to even smaller teams, okay? That is very nice as well, because that's something that happens in every single saga in One Piece, and it gives us a lot of game, okay? So we have this design in the helmet, okay? Like moons. I want to do like this. And there are some textures and some things in the horse that obviously I'm not going to do, but there are some other details here. And I want to maybe open this a little bit more like this. Yes, like this. I was thinking maybe this one I will do it smaller, but I think it looks okay. And I will fit however I can, probably the next character here. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. We still need to fit 4 more, maybe 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. We don't know. We will see how it's gonna work, but I want to make it work here so all of them are in the same page, at least for season 2. In season 3, we will see how we're gonna explore this expansion of the characters. So as well, I think needs to have a bigger smile. Brogy is very smiley, very, very smiley. So we are gonna expand on this here. I think now it looks perfection, and we need to do a lip. He has a little bit of a lip here as well in the manga. It's interesting. We can't see it in the live action because they went for another type of design, another approach. That I love it as well. I love it. I have to talk about it later in a bit. But I think something like this, a mix between one and the other, it can look interesting. Now I'm gonna jump to fine liner. We will use this time 0.2. Okay. So Bibi and Luffy are walking around, and you know, he's eating whatever he finds around. Bibi is quite like, oh my god, what are you eating there? Do you actually know that that is edible? Luffy doesn't care. He actually grew up in the jungle as well. That's something that I don't think we will see in the live action, but we know from the manga and the anime that Luffy actually has a lot of experience with jungle animals, fighting and things like this, pre-meeting everyone, pre-going into adventures and things like this. So we realize this is a Jurassic Park type of moment. When a dinosaur shows up in a screen, we have this moment of both of them like, oh my god, what is that? So we have a Brontosaurus, I believe it is. If there is a dino expert around, please feel free to, in the comment section, show ourselves your knowledge, explain what's this dinosaur, what's about it, and how actually they used to behave, or how they are, or why they have such a long neck and all these things. So feel free to explain anything that you want, an open conversation. This channel here is open for you to open conversation. So Bibi mentioned as well that this is probably one of those islands lost in time, untouched by the years, by the time, and they got stuck still in the dinosaurs era. Interesting. Grand Line, as I explained in my first video, is a place where you will find many islands with different times, with different temperatures, with different climates as well, and it makes it very rich for storytelling. Rich for storytelling in the sense of Oda Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, he is able to take us to a random island, and in this random island, every time that we visit, he can work any topic that he wants. Okay, we have things about Wild West, we have things about snow, we have things about Halloween, you know, themes, we have themes about food, we have many topics, many themes, and this gave him freedom to design all of this. I think he found a very beautiful and interesting way of creating a scenario that is believable. Okay, that is believable, and we can connect, because all of them are from themes that we already know. Okay, so Vivi is explaining all of this, obviously, about Untouched Island, etc., but Luffy doesn't get it. He just dashes off, he runs towards the dinosaur, he wants to ride it and everything, and he just wants to, you know, party and enjoy and everything. So that's very Luffy as well. I like how they are keeping Iñaki, that is the actor, doing Luffy things and acting like Luffy. I love it. We jump into Sanji and Zorro as well, how they meet the Jurassic Island as well. They are met by a T-Rex. They hear as well this roar, and then the T-Rex shows up. I have to say, and this is one of those issues with CGI that we see in many places, in many movies, when we go for the T-Rex approach, that is the aggressive, is like a kind of the alpha, is the alpha dinosaur, the boss dinosaur in all these type of movies. We tend to pay attention to detail more to him, because we are gonna maybe put him more in a screen, or maybe do some close-ups, and here this happens as well. And I think they should have toned down a little bit the T-Rex to make it more fakey looking, because it is true that it clashes a little bit with the design of the other dinosaur, the Brontosaurus, and the rest of the jungle, in my opinion. If you hear a little bit of distortion or something, it's just started to rain a lot, and it may be a little bit windy. Even ice is falling, I think, at the moment. That's very weird for this time of the year, but yeah, so I will try to keep a little bit up the chat so we can talk above the sound of this. Okay, so all the dinosaurs are made with CGI, are computed generated. This is 3D animation basically. They look how they look. I like it, but the comparison, as I said before, between one and the other, I think is too big. They should have matched that a little bit more. Maybe the creative director there wanted to give more aggressivity to the T-Rex, so you could showcase how Sanji and Zorro, they are gonna one-shot the creature, because they are gonna one-shot the creature. And yeah, but I think, in my opinion, it's a little bit off. As well, because they need to defeat, to kill this animal and make him a proper prop on the floor. He's gonna be laying on the floor as a real item. We need to have Zorro and Sanji interacting a little bit with him, like maybe they touch him a little bit, you know, there is the cut in the belly and everything. They are arguing, oh, my cut is the one who killed it, no, my kick is the one who killed it, the typical thing that these two guys do, and they have to interact a little bit with him. So maybe that's why they went for a little bit more realistic look, because it needs to be believable next to them. Even if later we're gonna see a Nami, Luffy and Vivi riding the Brontosaurus, it is not the same, okay, because we are seeing this from high point of view, where you see the jungle around as well and everything, and it can be a little bit more fake, okay, to integrate with the whole and the rest of the story. But it's interesting. So Nami and Usopp chat on the boat. They have returned to the Merry. They are talking about fear. This is a concept that is core Usopp, okay. At the same time, we know this is core Nami as well. Nami has been portrayed in this story more brave, more fighter, more leader, and I love it. I think at the very beginning of the manga and the anime, when we fight Brogy, etc., you know, East Blue, beginning of East Blue, we see Nami fighting a lot, okay? I think, obviously, because she's fighting for her life. As soon as Arlong happens, she slows down a little bit, she relaxes a little bit, and she's able to allow the guys to step in, to kick, cut, punch everyone around her, to travel this adventure, okay, in a comfortable way for her. She inevitably has to fight many fights, and she defeats in the future many important characters, many strong characters in the story. But it is true that fear is a predominant sign with Usopp, with Nami, with Chopper, okay, with these guys that we are. All of us in the crew. This is they call them the scaredy trio, the weak trio, and things like this, because they are always like, we have the strong trio of Sanji, Luffy, and Zorro. We have the other way around with the other guys. That doesn't mean they are weak, but they are strong in their own way. But this is this funny moment. So I like how Nami is kind of taking the lead, like being a captain role here and saying, "Yo, Usopp, I know you are scared about this. I'm scared about this too. There's no worry about this. We're just gonna be exploding." And he even jokes with her like, "Oh, you actually are gonna, you talk actually like Luffy." I love it. So suddenly another roar, a massive giant shows up. That is the one that we are drawing now, Brogy, asking for ale. So this is absolutely epic. I love it. I love how this has been made. I saw it in the promo and I love it. I see it now in the season and I love it as well. The barrel scene when he is reaching down towards the ale because he wants to drink is very nicely done. Probably this is used. This is a combination of techniques. There is some perspective recording from below when he is going down to grab the barrel. That is a real asset. He's taking this as a human. He's a human. He's a guy in a dress. So he's dressed up. He's not CGI, okay? And at the same time, we see him next to Nami, okay? And you see how big he is. This is made as well with different layers, different video combinations. In one camera, you may be recording Brogy acting. In another camera, you are recording Nami acting, and then you can merge these videos as well. There are some instances that they have used real techniques. I don't think they have done that here because the difference is too large. They have to use CGI to expand the concept of giant here, the giant concept, okay? So there are movies, for example, like in Lord of the Rings, when you see Gandalf eating or talking with Bilbo or with Frodo, how they use this type of very cleverly designed tables where one part of the table is closer to the camera and the other one is farther to the camera. If you visit one of the studios, one of the they have studios with the parks that you can see props, you will see how this works, because you can even take a picture of yourself with your friends, with your family there and everything, with whoever you want, and this perspective with the camera position that you have is gonna make look like the character that is close to the camera is large, like Gandalf, he's like human size, and the one that is farther, in this case, let's say Frodo, is tiny like a hobbit. But this is just camera angle and is tricking your eye, okay, with the distance with the table, okay? The table is cut in two pieces, looking long, but in camera looks like it's actually a circle. Some of this could have been used in this technique for Dory, for Brogy as well, and for the mix shots with the Straw Hats, but I would say most of it here is CGI across the whole episode. I think is cheaper, it's easier to do, and they have two giants, so they would have been doing a lot of these things. Obviously, I still want to watch a lot of extra content, things explaining, you know, information about how everything was made. I always said when I am doing videos here that most of the time I enjoy more the the extras and how it's made, the behind the scenes, I would say, than the movies themselves or the series themselves. But maybe you are a little bit like me, and you like all these things, and you like to learn new things as well. And yeah, so feel free as well to open conversation. If you have some extra information that I may not be explaining here, feel free to explain it here for all of us, and we can see. Okay, so he has this kind of metal piece. Okay, it's like a flower. This he has it on the other side, I believe, but because we don't have much space, I'm gonna draw it just here. And this is just a piece to hold his cloak. He's obviously a warrior, like a sailor as well, and he needs to have his cloak holding there nicely. Okay, so I think we are done with the line. I'm gonna start with adding a little bit of color here and there. Okay, I don't want to erase the whole pencil, because I always like to leave a little bit. If you can see everywhere, there's a little bit of pencil everywhere. Very nice, very, very nice. Regarding the design of Brogy, I have to say as well, it is very comic-y. It looks very like a character taken out from the screen. Even if they done another approach with the nose and everything, I like it. I think it's ideal. It reminds me a lot to Asterix and Obelix comics as well, that are a recommendation if you haven't read them, are beautiful. And the design for the shapes are very simple as well. How one is more round, the other one is more smaller and more pointy, for example. They have a lot of art design principles and basics in that story. There's a lot of comedy, a lot of funny things, a lot of magic in that story. Very beautiful, I love it. But together with the characterization, so the suit that they made for the actor to look like Brogy, together with the perspective, together with the makeup that they made him, the nose, the beard and everything, it looks very interesting. I love it, I love it. So I think these two guys, especially Brogy, because we will meet Dory in a second, is one of my absolute favorite things from this season. It is great. That's a great job, and that's a congratulations, a big congratulations there for the team, because you done it great. To the makeup team, to the CGI team, and to the actor himself. Brogy's interpretation here as a character, as a One Piece character, is incredible. The laughter is incredible. I love it. So I think this character, is, for me, in my opinion, the most One Piece character in the whole One Piece live action so far. I love it. Great, great job. So the guys, Usopp and Nami, end up captured. Like everything needs to happen here. Tension, fear, what's going on here? Then we jump into Luffy. Luffy is on top of the dino. Differences from the manga here, that he just goes on top of the dino, but then the dino is gonna make him jump and swallow him. And then what happens in the manga is that the head of the dinosaur is gonna be caught, and Luffy falls from the neck. Okay, and then we introduce Dory. That Dory is with Luffy's group, Luffy and Bibi. Here, what they have done is that we have Luffy and Bibi riding the dinosaur. There is a very nice moment about, Luffy not being worried. Bibi asking him, how can you not be worried about this, blah blah blah. And Luffy is like, I don't care about these things. They are being hunted, but he doesn't care about this. He's like curious about other things. He's like, why are they actually riding in Arrabiata? Arrabiata, obviously, is some sort of dish as well and everything. No, Alabasta. So he's always mixing names and mixing locations. That's very nice, very Luffy thing to do as well. And Vivi says something very interesting. He says, in Alabasta, we actually ride ducks. So, to talk a little bit the concept of the dogs, that I mentioned it as well in the Whiskey Peak video briefly. In Whiskey Peak, Miss Wednesday, later known as Bibi, we have an introduction of someone called with the laboon and everything adventure, someone called Karoo. Karoo is a giant duck. Lovely, dog that she uses like a horse, basically. The dog is running around, she's throwing attacks, you know, the Karoo is running, escaping and everything. Some instances here in Little Garden, outside as well, later in Alabasta, we see as well even Usopp riding Karoo, and they do some little bit of teamwork there, very nicely. And I don't think we're gonna see Karoo. I think, as I said, all the live action, let's say, budget has gone to other things. We cannot show everything, I understand. It's a lot of work. We have waited like 2 years or 2 years and a half to be able to see the season 2. I know the guys are recording as we speak season 3. Probably some things for season 3 have been recorded already while recording season 2, but it will be a little bit tricky to all the time, every single time that you show Bibi in a screen, that's the case in the manga, Karoo is with her. So one thing is to animate one character in CGI, like Chopper later, that we will talk about him later, when it's his time to talk about this thing. But the other thing is to animate a character with every single time that she's in a scene. That's very difficult, okay? And very costly. A lot of money needs to be involved there. A lot of post-production. Post-production is when everything is recorded, animated and everything, putting it together. So a lot of montage to put these things together later on as well. So I think, in my opinion, it's a complication. I don't expect to see Karoo in season 3 as a nakama, as a companion. Maybe we see him in the background, or we see one moment when he is somewhere doing something specific. CGI, in my opinion, I think they will go for CGI, but I don't have great hopes for this character, to be honest. I don't want to lie here. So while we are competing, Zorro and Sanji and all of this, arguing and everything, Zorro hears something, okay? They are arguing, Zorro hears something after they kill the T-Rex and everything, and he starts following this sound, okay? This is again, we split again even more. Now we're individual. Sanji is on his own, Zorro is on his own, okay? We split again. And then, something that was moving around painted Zorro's leg with a mark. What is this mark? We don't know, but his expression changes. There is some sort of power here in his eyes, like some sort of kind of possession, demonic possession or something. Something happened to him there that we do not know what is it, okay? Then we go back to Luffy and Bibi. They found food. They are smelling, you know, the Luffy was following a track from the dinosaur, and they end up finding another giant, that is Dory, okay? So we go back to Nami's team. Nami and Usopp, they are with the first giant. They are scared. They think they are gonna be his lunch. The guy is shouting, "Oh, I'm starved," and everything. Like, you know, they are very scared. They think they are gonna be eaten. This is actually in every myth, you know, like we have Cyclops myths, Giants myths about eating people. You have in culture as well, like in popular culture, like in Lord of the Rings, where the hobbits, the dwarves and the hobbits are captured and they're gonna be eaten by the trolls as well. So we have this everywhere. This is a very nice moment, very mythological and very storytelling moment as well. Soon they realize the guy is just cooking food, and he actually offers them some food. Originally in the manga as well, they thought they were going to be eaten. That's very nice. Funnily enough, there are some Usopp stories here that, you know, are gorgeous. I think the actor is playing Usopp beautifully as well, and he's kind of, you know, putting his faces and, you know, doing these moves and everything, trying to be cool, like in real life, like if you are trying to be cool and trying to impress someone. But at the same time, you can convey, you can see how scared he was. He's scared to the bones, like he wants to just get out of there. He's trying just to sell everything that he can there so he can actually escape, okay? So he's very scared. I like the performance, the interaction here between Brogy and Usopp, I think is excellent. As I said, I think one of my favorite moments in the whole series, season 1 and season 2, okay? So Very nice. Usopp is telling stories about, that once he was brandishing a 5-tone hammer and he killed a mole monster, giant monster and everything. This is something that it's a lie, obviously, because Usopp never killed anyone. But Usopp's lies, we know that they become true. He says multiple things, these things as well, in the manga. Are we gonna see a mole monster and he's gonna brandish a 5-tone hammer and kill that mole? Maybe we're gonna see that in Alabasta. It could be very interesting, no? As I said, this video is full of spoilers and everything, and we know that there may be some truth to this, okay? So I love it. The laughter that in this case, Brogy, the Red Ogre, as he introduced himself, is laughing like Gaba Baba. It's very nice. I like as well how they are keeping the laughter. The laughter in every single one of the characters, especially bad guys, is very particular because it defines One Piece. Like we have talked here about many things in the channel, like for example, Disney, we have talked as well about, manga, like Dragon Ball, and I compare like Son Goku's hair or Mickey's ears as being a IP. Here, for example, here in One Piece, we have the Straw Hat, for example, okay? But there are semi-IPs as well that you could say, like, Yo-ho-ho is Brook's laughter, and is one of those things that it's a mark in One Piece. You see it everywhere. Like this, for example, these guys are laughing like this. That is very nice as well. That is very One Piece. You don't see that much around. Probably, yes, you have characters that they love more or less here and there in this series, in this other series, but as having it as a rule, basically, that all of them have something like that going on. It is like a trademark, basically, okay? So I love that they kept that, because Dory and Brogy, both of them, are quite laughing all the time and doing this all the time, and I like it. So I want your opinion as well about all of this. I know there is a lot of information in this episode, to be honest, and a lot of things to talk and a lot of things to compare, okay, with what we want to know here, actually, from this explanation, from this analysis, basically. So Usopp is they're shouting like, "Oh my God!" and they call me, the Lord of Destruction. And then, Brogy is as well, "Oh, Usopp, Lord of Destruction." They're very excited. The guys, no, it's like guys' night here. Very funny. And funnily enough, again, the Lord of Destruction, or the God of Destruction, the Sun God, Nika, that is mentioned multiple times here already in the live action very early, that we manga readers know all about this already. And Loki, the Prince of Elbaf, from where these giants are, as well, he considers himself a God of Destruction as well, or people used to call him as well God of Destruction, in the sense of him being reckless and bad, obviously, in the sense of the word. And I like it. It's very interesting how these tiny details are being mentioned all over the place all the time and giving us hints. Obviously, live action with real people, that we have the actors and everything, you cannot keep it forever. In the manga is running for 30 plus years now, a little bit more than 30 years now. It was the anniversary quite recently. And to be honest, you cannot have Luffy at the point in the story that we are now, being an old man, being, like a 50 years old man, when he should be a teenager the whole time of the story, because the story happens through a couple of months, and there is a time skip at some point, but there is, in real time, a couple of months only of traveling, basically, and meeting all these guys. So they need to, in the live action, feed you information from later, because if they want to expand, if they want to do a movie, for example, with live action, if they want to go for another approach, and I think it's going to help us as well in the manga to learn things that maybe they are not confirmed, but they are half confirmed in the manga, to help us as well. It's very nice. The concept of having all this information from the lore is very beautiful, in my opinion, because I love this, okay? We jump again now to Mr. 5. Boat has arrived with Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine, the bad guys that we are dragging one episode after another. And they are very funny looking because they are wearing these outfits from... Miss Valentine's look quite classic, quite normal from the 20s design, okay? But Mr. 5 is very funny, you know, with the shorts, without top and everything, and wearing this kind of long coat and the funny hair. This design choice is taken from one of the cover stories, the Baroque Works cover stories. When we finish a saga in One Piece, in manga, in the first page, in the cover page of each episode, there is a drawing. Sometimes this drawing, Oda uses this chance to tell you a mini story of where Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine went after everything that happens in this Arabasta story, basically with the Vivi story, okay? And we know where they go, and you see them with the new clothes and everything. And these are the clothes that they are using in that cover story, okay? I like that. I can see that the guys who have made the seasons, made the project of One Piece, they are knowledgeable about the topic. That's good. That means that they care about what they are doing. I love it. And you know, the writers, the directors, everyone, they are interested in what they are doing. They are fans as well. That is very beautiful, and they are paying attention to all these details. I love it. So these two bad guys arrive there and they find a wax-looking house, and we have the introduction of Mr. 3. I was thinking about drawing Mr. 3. Probably I draw him in the next episode because he will have more importance in the next episode. But Mr. 3, incredible. I think the guy is called David Dalmatian or Dalmatian. I don't know the pronunciation. If someone knows, please just feel free to put it properly or pronounce it properly in the comment section as well. And I love it. I know him from other projects. I've seen him in other movies, and I always liked him. He has this kind of bad guy aura that I needed to see. Having more main character vibes. This is given to him through the Mr. 3 character, because Mr. 3 takes the role of, let's say, the strongest in this little garden scenario, and I love it. So there is a little bit of a clash there of opinions. Mr. 5 is saying, you know, just get out of here, this is our mission, and he says, you know how we work, you know how this works. I'm here, I'm Mr. 3, I'm above you, and I've been sent here to basically clean up your mess. And you know what that means. If you behave and you give me a hand, I can put a good word in with Mr. 0 so he doesn't kill you both. So there is tension there, but they comply. They say, oh yeah. Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine are very strong guys, but they cannot fight against Mr. 3. As you can see, they are powerless against two numbers higher than themselves, and I like it. I like this tier of power because it kind of explains us how strong actually they may be. Okay, it's interesting. At least it's interesting. So Luffy and Dory, there's a chat there as well, like introduction. He comes as the Blue Ogre as well. He as well is the strongest warrior in Elbaf. So both of the giants give the same speech to Luffy and Usopp. So there is something going on there. And they say, it is implied here, they've been fighting in the island for 100 years. Who are these guys? These guys are the bosses of the giant pirates. These are co-captains of the giant pirates from 100 years ago. They had a disagreement in the island, and there was a little girl in the manga, in the story, and they were hunting like Luffy, like Zoro and Sanji. That is why the parallelism between these two characters, they were doing exactly the same thing. So the giant stopped there with a boat, with this Viking looking type of boat, and I think it's called the Red Eric. They stopped there and they hunt these massive sea kings that at the end of the episode you will see in the drawings, very nice, that those are the mountains that we are in between actually in Little Garden. So we see how there is a disagreement there, and this little girl says, actually, but which one is the biggest actually? And obviously one starts, mine is bigger, and the other one is, no, mine is bigger. So this is basically what Zorro and Sanji do as well in the manga. Instead of fighting about who killed the T-Rex, so one has a T-Rex and the other one has a Triceratops, the one with the 3 horns, and they are talking about, oh, mine is bigger, no, mine is bigger, exactly the same problem. And this is like parody, this is comedy in One Piece. In fact, you barely see Sanji in the whole Little Garden saga, to be honest. He's just somewhere else doing his own thing, you know, hunting this thingy, and you don't see him actually. But there is more scenes with him, okay? So, very nice. A little bit of lore from the Giants, and Luffy spills the beans about Bibi. He says, you know, this is Princess of Alabasta, Bibi, and we are trying to help her, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, Bibi doesn't want this information to be revealed to a random guy that they just met right now. But obviously, she gets karai and starts talking about Igaram, blah, 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 and how there is this concept of Viking or Elbafian, let's say, funeral of burning the body and celebrating and everything, you know, because he died an honorable death, protecting the friend that is Bibi in this case. So it's honorable. Bibi cannot understand this. Obviously, we have this as well later with Usopp when the concept of honor and pride of the Giants is raised with this concept as well, and Nami cannot understand either. And there is as well in the manga this kind of definition that Usopp is the one who feels the most the concept of Elbaf, and then Luffy as well. So they know why these two are fighting, basically. We'll go that in a second as well, okay? So we are doing here the hair. We're doing adding a little bit of black. You know that when we are adding a little bit of black, I'm almost done with the drawing. But it's looking very nice so far. It's very nice. Drawing with the tones that we have picked and everything, and now it's getting a little bit more rich with the dark. I love to add the dark. And there's a little bit of shadow here on the eyes to darken a little bit the expression as well here, make it a little bit more aggressive. Even if we chose very nice colors for him, like this. Very, very nice, very nice. So. They do this kind of simulation of a burial here. Luffy says, you know, Bibi, by the way, you have this kind of handkerchief that Igaram gave you, and you know, she takes that and burns it as a symbol of, you know, burning the body of the friend as, you know, respect, symbol of respect there. And we see something very interesting on the table. There is these cuttings. We know from history, from real history, that, you know, every warrior, you know, going to war, you know, say the Romans, the Vikings, everywhere, they used to have these little knives, and they used to carve a little, you know, things, maybe some animals for their families, or some kids, or some representations of the ones that they loved, and they carried them as totems. This is independently of religion. This is just the adventurer being separated from family and loved ones, and having some sort of token to remember them, that they make on the road, okay? So we see how there are these figures on that desk that we are standing on. One is the sun god, Nika. This is a god in Elbaf, mention of a god in Elbaf. Then we have another one that it resembles very much to Brogy, so telling you that these two guys are friends. And there's another one that it looks very cartoony and funny with a flower. That is Prince Loki. Loki, this sign at the beginning when he's mentioned at early stages in the story, that is exactly Loki's design in the manga as a silhouette. Later, nowadays, we already know, we had already the face reveal for Loki and everything. It doesn't look at all like that. But in the live action, they played with this with this, you know, funny gag in the concept of showcasing Loki in a mysterious way. I like it. I don't think we're gonna reach to that point in the story. Maybe there's a little bit of flashback or something about giants and things, but I don't think that's gonna be relevant at all for the story. But it's interesting to see how things that are happening right now in the manga, because we have just finished, I believe, manga episode 1177, that if you actually want to see my analysis about that, I'm going to be putting it here for you as well. Obviously, if you want to avoid major spoilers and everything from the manga, or you are maybe semi up to date and everything and you don't want to follow, just don't follow it. But if you actually, yeah, why not, I'm going to watch it. Just feel free as well to comment on what you think, or request characters as well. You can request any character that you want from One Piece or any other story, and I will do it at some point if I know about it, okay? So I like that as well. So, back to Brogy a little bit. There is a mention in this conversation with Usopp about, oh, you know, I wish I had some Semla, the dessert from Elbaf, blah, 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 and explains a little bit what is Semla as well. This rings the bell. A lot of memories are back here. There is a whole situation with a character called Big Mom. Big Mom is one of the Yonko of the seas. The Yonko are the 4 emperors, basically, the 4 leaders, pirates, that they control the second part of the Grand Line. So these are the bosses of the bosses, the strongest. And Big Mom has her story with the giants and a lot of destruction there, okay? And all of them as well focused about Semla. It is interesting that here in the same conversation, as we have just seen the statue, the mini statue, this cutting of the sun god, we have Brogy mentioning by, you know, with his mouth, like, oh, you know, the sun god, blah, blah, blah. Nice information, because Mother Caramel, that in theory is the one who adopts, let's say, Big Mom, and when she's a kid, she has a fruit, okay? And that fruit is very interesting because there is she creates this kind of sun, okay? Mother Caramel disappears with a bunch of other kids that she was taking care of. There is a lot of story about Mother Caramel, I'm not going to go into that, but all of them disappear. There is a birthday party, they are eating, blah, blah, blah. Big Mom as a kid is there as well. Big Mom is quite large as well, not a giant, but she's quite large. And by the time she finishes eating, because she goes into frenzy, all of them disappeared. So basically, she ate them all. Because she ate Mother Caramel, she now has the power of the fruits, and she can create her own sun and everything, and etc, etc. So there is a lot of things about Big Mom, a lot of things about many topics regarding Elbaf that I would love to talk here, but I don't think we have time or space to this. But very nice mentioning of Elbaf, describing it a little bit, how massive it is, how there is a ginormous tree in the middle that obviously, if you like Norse mythology, this is, you know, a parallelism, a comparison with the Yggdrasil tree, the Nordic story of the tree holding all the realms of this kind of world. Very nice concept of the warriors, the tales, the heroic death in battle as ultimate expression of courage, for example. And Usopp is like flabbergasted. He's like in shock looking at that. Like, is Usopp gonna die maybe at the end of the story in One Piece? His goal is to become the greatest warrior of the sea, a great warrior of the sea and everything. And if they are kind of put this in like this information here in the live action, maybe Usopp is gonna die willingly for his friends at the end of the story, and it could be interesting, okay? And I would love to see something like this. Sad, yes, but very interesting. And there is, you know, if you want to be like the giants, this is the ultimate thing, as he is saying right now. Usopp asked them, because, you know, this concept about fighting for so many years and anything, he says, how do you face death without fear? And when he is gonna reply, that's a very deep topic. So there is a cut here by the volcano's eruption, and then that's the sign to go to fight. Oh, you know, I need to fight, blah, blah, blah. Usopp's realizations here about, you know, the pride of Elbaf, all about honor. They don't even remember what they are fighting. Usopp is very excited now. Usopp wants to see the fight, follow them, chase them and everything. And Nami can't understand this, like Bibi can't understand it in the other scene. And it is very interesting how this is portrayed in the live action. At the same time, Nami gets distracted and she gets painted too, like Zorro. So she kind of goes a little bit off, like woo, something happens as well on her eyes. She's being controlled as well, so that is crazy. Zorro, on the other hand, he's just laughing, cutting some fruits, like playing around, being silly, being controlled. Sanji is talking with him, he's not reacting, and because they were arguing and everything, he's like, you know, whatever, I'm gonna just go and do my own thing. And at that moment, as soon as he leaves, Miss Valentine arrives. So we just got Zorro captured here. That's not good. Zorro letting down his guard, that is not good. Usopp teams arrives to the battle. Nami realizes why this is called Little Garden, because you see the giants and how the island looks very tiny on their feet, and it's like they are in a playground basically. This is even more noticeable in the manga. In the manga, they made the island smaller. In the live action, looks crazy big to be Little Garden. Okay, so that is as well very, very interesting. Nami is being controlled. We can feel this in her acting. Her acting changes here. And the crew meets. Luffy is there, Bibi is there. They start talking and everything. The giants drink to celebrate a new battle. They have fought like 7,000 and blah 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 many times, and they drink from each other's ale. And they start fighting, and very fierce battle, very epic battle. And you know, it's revealed that they had 100 millions on their heads, each one of them. So that is crazy amount of money, and that's 100 years ago. So imagine nowadays with the, you know, inflation, that will be like in the billions. That's crazy. A lot of people has been talking about this as well in manga analysis, that, you know, just check about the inflation of berries, the currency in One Piece as well, and that is crazy. So the bad guys are there as well. They have put a bomb in the ale. What's gonna happen here is that Brogy is gonna drink one of these bomb ales. It's gonna explode in his belly. You're gonna see the smoke coming from the jar that he has and everything. Dory is not gonna realize. Luffy, Usopp, the guys are able to see Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine on the other side of the battle, and they realize that the bad guys are here. Luffy runs off to fight them, and then all this fight, because they don't wanna accept that they are damaged, that they receive some damage or external. He doesn't want Dory to feel ashamed because he may win because a condition, something like this. Obviously they are too proud for that. That Usopp is not agreeing with this, by the way, because it's not fair. Brogy ends up stabbed, so Dory, you know, puts his sword through his belly and defeats him. So Dory is like very happy, oh, you know, blah blah blah, I'm very happy, blah blah blah. But Usopp explains everything to him. He goes down and says, you know, when he's thrown down, because then Nami gets captured straight away. But Usopp is kind of explaining to him, like, look, you fool, you know, there's been an interference here. He's been attacked with this by the bad guys that are here, blah blah. And then, you know, Dory starts, you know, a little bit like, oh my god, I don't deserve this, blah blah. Goes into a little bit of a crisis there. It's very interesting. We remember that Luffy is chasing the bad guys, but he encounters a little girl in the middle of the forest that we don't know. We have no clue who this girl is, and he gets painted. And this happens to be Miss Golden Week, that is the partner of Mr. 3. So you know that Baroque works as Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine, or for example Miss Wednesday or Mr. 9, that we know is BB and the guy with the bats. They go by pairs. So that little girl is the pair of Mr. 3, and he's using this colors trap, as she calls it. She's using the emotion that the colors inflict in people and how they affect people to control them. Is this a fruit? No. As far as we know, this is not a fruit. Has this been explained further? on the, of, you know, beyond just being paint and she's using this kind of magic with the paint. No, there are some other instances as well that other type of magic, let's say, in this world has been applied or used by users. Some of them we have more explanation, some of them we don't have that much explanation, but this is one of those remaining kind of secrets in One Piece that is never been actually addressed, like magic by the colors in the paint, and that's it. Okay, very nice. At the same time, Bibi, that was running toward the ship trying to find the Luffy, gets captured by Mr. 5 too. So almost all of them are getting like trapped, captured or something. Sanji is able to hear this, but obviously he cannot find her. Then, you know, we are back into the cavern that Brogy has, or I think it's Brogy's cavern. Maybe he just went into the other guy's cavern, but it may have been his. We don't see Dory's cavern actually. We see him outside in the, you know, outside. So that's very interesting as well. So he's gonna mark the victory on the wall. This is gonna be a sour mark because he knows that there's been a trap here for the giants. Okay, the goal of Mr. 3 originally, that's why he's sent there originally in the manga, is to capture these giants and get the reward, and as well is to chase Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine and take over the mission. It is not as defined in the live action as we have it in the manga. Okay, it's more ambiguous what he's intending to do with the giants and what is his plan already from before, but it's nicely portrayed as well by the actors. I like it. So while Dory is doing this, Mr. 3 shows up there. He's very tiny, obviously he's human size, and he reveals to have the wax fruit, and he can manipulate candle and make candle locks. Basically, he shows himself to introduces himself as the artist. He's an artist, and he's very strong. He just kind of pinned the giant to the wall with a massive knife of wax, and he does this as well to Brogy in the manga, and he manages to trap them all. Basically, he's super strong in the sense of using his ability. He's very clever at using his ability. Okay, physically strong, he looks like a normal guy. He doesn't look strong at all physically, but the power of the candle, the wax power, is very strong. He mentions that once it's hardened, it can go harder than steel. So that is crazy. So Bibi, Nami, Zorro are shown captured in the wax house. These guys, you know, Zorro has been captured by the little girl, Miss Golden Week. Zorro has been captured for her. Nami has been captured as well by her, and now Bibi by Mr. 5. And now we have Dory captured by Mr. 3, pinned to the wall. Brogy wounded, unconscious on the floor, almost in the verge of death. Okay, Luffy is just being captured right now by Miss Golden Week as well, so is unresponsive. So who is free? Who is free at the moment of all of them? Sanji, that is lost in translation. We don't know where Sanji is in the Going Merry, but probably trying to find Bibi because he heard the shouting. And Usopp. So it is gonna be Usopp moment, I will say. No, what's gonna happen in the next episode? We will need to see when we do the analysis of the next episode. Who are we gonna be drawing? I don't know yet. Probably I can see how I'm going towards Dory, most probably. So I think this is the video for today. Analysis, maybe a little bit longer today than normal because there's been a lot of information in this episode, but I love it. I'm enjoying so much the live action, and especially I like this guy, the Brogy design, the Brogy actuation and everything, the act, how he's talking, laughing, interacting with Usopp. I absolutely love it. It's coming outside of a comic. So I hope you enjoyed the video, you enjoyed the analysis and everything. I'm just gonna sign off for the day. This is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23. You can say that you want, and this is the Mantra. Okay, I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye.